All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to everyone at home this morning. We're glad to have you join us. We're going to begin this morning with our centering song called All Is Well. All is well. I can rest, I am safe, and all is well. All is well. I can rest, I am safe, and all is well. All is well. I can rest. I am safe, and all is well. All is well. I can rest. I am safe, and all is well. And a joyous morning to you all. Today is a new day. It is God's gift. As I embrace the beauty of this day, I recognize that God is everywhere present. Knowing that Spirit operates in, as, and through all, I know that I am a perfect creation of the divine, and I am one with Spirit. I know that God is the loving and constant source of my good, as I know this for myself. I know this for every beloved sharing this physical and virtual space. I know that this service today reaches out to all with the power, love, and goodness of God. I know that Spirit speaks to us through the music and words we hear. I know that we receive wisdom, encouragement, and guidance from our beloved Rev Katherine Economou, who speaks as the voice of God. I know that even though we are not physically together in the same room, we are united by divine mind as today's messages touch our lives. I'm so grateful for the gift that is this day. I'm grateful to be here, embraced by the spiritual community, and I know that our time together is sourced, guided, and supported by divine love, goodness, and wisdom. I bless this service. I let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, Pat. Good morning. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Mostly online. So I'm Rev Katherine Economou, and it's my joy to welcome you this morning to our celebration service for Center for Spiritual Living Temecula Valley. If you're live in this moment with us or finding us later and connecting through the replay, we're just so glad you're with us. And it's very strange to be once again in an empty room filming a service for a camera. At this same moment when we are coming out of the COVID experience, I'm back online, which is just really mind-bending. As I was driving in this, as most of you know, there was a flood here at our building a few months ago, and they're in the process of doing the remediation and the reconstruction, and this is the only space that has not been touched yet. The rest of the whole entire center, our offices, the social hall, the kitchen, everything, the bathrooms, and that's why we're not meeting in person, is that we don't have bathrooms. You know, I can't promise that it'll be safe So we went back online. And you know what? Driving in this morning, I was thinking about it, and I was feeling a little sad. Obviously, it's been great getting back in person. This spring, we've started to grow again. The energy's been building, and we've been welcoming new friends who found us, and it's been great. And now to have to go back online for a couple of weeks is just really frustrating and sad to me. And I was like, no, we're going back. And I realized in that moment, I heard that voice that speaks to me often, is, no, you're not going back. You're going around the turn. And I've just come back from a week of dance competition with my daughter that I'll share about a little bit later. But I got the picture that we're not going forward or backwards, we're dancing. We are turning around and we're spinning in a new direction. And so it may feel like we're taking a little step back. It may feel like, oh, we're not together again, and it's frustrating. Let me tell you, I am as frustrated about this as you are. But what I know is that we are still moving forward. We're still moving in a new direction. And this place, once we get back into it, is going to be renovated and beautiful and fresh and clean and new, just like what we're talking about, we've been talking about this month. Our lives are feeling that way. And so, sometimes you just have to say, this is a stinky situation and we don't like it. And that's where I am. And that's where we are together. But that the blessing is, which is the same blessing we experienced back in COVID, which is we can still be together. Jump on that chat and say good morning. Share your thoughts about what's going on. Connect with us and stay connected, because we don't want to lose these bonds of love and inspiration and connection that we've been building all year. We want that to continue, and we know that it will. So I want to welcome you to Center for Spiritual Living Temecula Valley. I want to let you know that you are welcomed, that you are necessary and worthy, and that we are so glad to be celebrating together. And with that, we are going to sing together. So I'm not going to be able to tell if you are singing where you are, but I strongly suggest that you do it. It's a simple song and you'll be able to get it quick, I'm sure.
That's right. I can tell. I'm watching you.
Okay.
This is called Alive with the Spirit of God, and you will catch on real quick. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, alive with the Spirit of God. That's all, let's do it. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive now, alive with the Spirit of God. I think we got it. Here we go. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive now, alive with the Spirit of God. Let's do it one more time. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive now, alive with the Spirit of God. Attack that. I am alive now, alive with the Spirit of God.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. And Pat and I are going to be Danielle's backup singers and dancers. That's what we'll do. I love that. I love that. And so we're going to move into our moment of gratitude here. This is a spiritual practice that we created together to just remember the power of gratitude. And so what I was thinking about today is I was realizing that, it was really hard for me to be away from the community on Easter, and I had to make the choice for my daughter, who was invited to a national dance competition, to go with her, to send her along to this. And I obviously made the choice to go. So I was not with the community for Easter. I heard that it was an amazing service. I want to thank Reverend Michael Summers and Charlene Kusner and all of our practitioners and the music team, and it was just a lovely service. It was wonderful. And I was so sad. I went through the whole week and I was still feeling like I was missing something. And then what I realized was that today is actually still Easter. For my Greek Orthodox and my Orthodox Christian friends, the way that the calendars move, they're all different, right? As growing up as I was Greek, I never knew when Easter was going to be, because it was never when it was supposed to be, when everybody else had Easter. And so today, this year, the celebrations are a week apart. And so today is actually Greek Easter, so I get to be with you with Easter. I still get to be with you for Easter. So, and what we say in the Greek churches, we say Christos aneste, which means Christ is risen. And then the person says back to you, alithos aneste, truly he is risen. And so Christos aneste, everyone. Alithos aneste, there you go. Thank you. All right. So what I thought was that energy, that we're still in, that energy of rising. Right? The energy of rising that we talk about on Easter is that we move through challenges and we move through those moments of darkness that we all face in our lives, and we rise. Right? That's the gift of the story of Jesus' resurrection, is that we rise even against death, which is the worst thing we could think of as humans. Is that we can move through any darkness and any difficulty, even death, we can be overcome because we are one with the infinite spirit. And so what do you do when you rise? Well, you rise and then you express, you shine. And so what I want us to do for our moment of gratitude today is I want you to close your eyes for a second and just take a breath. You know me, I like to put my hand on my heart because it connects me to that energetic. So I invite you to do that if it works for you. Just breathing into this moment and thinking about yourself in this spring energy of rising. Resting in that space of all that we have come through, all that we have handled over these last couple of years, all that has come up in our individual lives, those personal challenges, and in amongst the collective that we've walked through here. And realize that you've still risen, that you are rising now. Taking a breath into that, just rest in knowing that this is the divine alive as you. This is the universe, this is God's spirit, whatever word you want to give it, it's the same thing. And it loves you so much that it was standing right behind you, holding you, guiding you, inspiring you in this time. And it continues to do so. And so as we breathe into this moment of rising, let us just express some gratitude for that truth that we are never alone, that God is always with us. And it is right here in this moment. One more nice, full, deep breath. And then coming on back, opening your eyes and rejoining me. It's that simple. When we plug into that knowingness of the divine, it's like plugging ourselves into an outlet. The telephone, the TV, whatever it is, the electronic won't work unless it's plugged into its source. And so if we take a little bit of time every day to plug into our source, and it can be as simple as feeling gratitude for a flower, or for the sun, or the magnificence of the rainstorm that came through last week, or whatever it is, you take a moment to plug into that sense of gratitude. It energizes, inspires, and supports us. And so I'm so grateful that we have this opportunity to practice once again, and I encourage you to continue to do that. And with this, I'll turn it over to Pat for our reading for today.
Here it is. So our spiritual reading for today comes from our book for April, Divine Audacity, by Linda Martella Whitsett. Audacity is a strong attribute equally subject to negative and positive interpretation. A person behaving audaciously may be regarded as pushy or presumptuous or spunky and daring. Audacity is therefore not always regarded as a positive personality trait. However, as a spiritual power, audacity is our capacity for boldly proceeding in the direction of our intentions. I believe audacity is what Marianne Williamson referred to in her often quoted message. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine. Audacious is the 8-year-old student in San Antonio who addressed the city council to oppose fee increases for dance classes. Audacious is the young man who celebrated his 25th birthday by raising money to purchase a school bus for students in Nepal. Audacious is the woman whose face, scarred by another's brutality, does not deter her from appearing in public as an advocate for women's empowerment. Audacious is the student who failed math but returns the next semester with winning strategies. Audacious is when you courageously overcome seeming obstacles in service to compelling purpose. Audacious is you listening so that no material circumstance can interfere with your ability to shine. You shine the light of your spiritual nature. In the field of audacity, our electricity is noticeable. We dazzle and shimmer, sparkle and shine. Literally, our positive spiritual forwardness is contagious. We light up a dark room, we inspire others, we bless the world, and so it is.
Before you start. So I just want to let everyone know online, we do know that we hear you, that you're having a hard time hearing us, and we're doing as much, we're going to tweak it a little bit and do the best we can with making sure that you can hear. They said that the music is fine, but when we're speaking, they're having a hard time hearing us. So, well, we've got you. Don't worry. Thanks for letting us know we're doing our best.
I want
know, got to let it show.
Hi, that's Danielle Tucker and Mike DeCastro. Let's give some love to our music team here. All right, so I think we got the mic thing set, I think. So, you know I have no problem being loud or talking a lot, so we shall see. Okay, here we go. This is so strange to be back in this experience again, I'll tell you. Oh my goodness, all right. Well, this month we've been exploring creativity and how it can be a vehicle for our fulfillment and our fullest expression in the world. We've welcomed spring and new life. We've celebrated the Easter holiday. We've all risen, as I already talked about. And with the concept of God, that we can overcome any obstacle. And now as the world is opening up again, and I'm traveling this week, I really realized that. It really feels like everything's opening up again. It feels as though there's so much possibility and potential here for us. And it's a time to celebrate this life and celebrate the experiences that we can create, that we are empowered to do through our individual expression. And so how we show up in the world. So today my talk is Boldly Go. And I'm encouraging us all in this time, after this time of cocooning, to rise in our energy and be bold in our expression, to be bold in our lives. When I heard this topic, and of course this is the topic that the whole organization is working with right now, but it reminds me of the opening of Star Trek. Now, I was a child of the 80s, I'm not a child of the 60s. So I saw it in reruns, but let me tell you, I saw Star Trek, and I can hear, as soon as I read the title, I could hear in my head Captain Kirk's voice saying, the commander, so Captain Kirk, the commander of the USS Enterprise, would say, space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise, its 5-year mission. Was it really just 5 years? How funny. To explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before, right? Can you hear it? You can hear him say that, right? But I don't want you to boldly go where no man has gone before. I don't need you. I'm not encouraging us to go where no man's gone before, where no one's gone before. I just want you to go where you haven't gone before. I want you to go in a new direction that you haven't been in. We don't need to go to space to go find the Klingons, right? I'm a Star Wars girl, I'm not a Star Trek girl, so I'm trying with that one. But you don't need to go that far out. You don't need to completely, throw away an old life and start a new one. I want you to take a step. I want you to take a step in a new direction. I want you to take a step to stretch just a little bit. Be bold and go forward boldly in your life. So the question for you to answer this week is, how can you bring your personal individual creativity to the world in a new way? How can you express in a new way in your life? Sometimes we like to be creative. We learn new things and we try new things. Our hobbies, baking and painting, some people garden. And we've talked a lot about how you could be creative in those areas of your life, but do you know that you could be creative in how you arrange your pantry? You could bring creativity to the way that you drive to work. You could bring creativity to the flow and the unfoldment of your day when we start to think in a new way. That it doesn't have to be just one way. It doesn't have to just go the same way that it's always gone. We don't have to do things the same way we've done them all the time. There's freedom in shifting it around. There's freedom in opening it up and trying new things. Now, I wish I could be creative in my pantry organization. I don't have that gene, but maybe I'll try it, right? So we're working with the premise about creativity right here, that when we dare to be present to our own individual talents, our gifts, and our passions in the world, we are called to be both vulnerable and victorious. Now, I don't usually use that word victorious. It's a very Christian word. We're going to be victorious. I don't usually use it. But I think in this moment that it's worth it. Because what victory feels like, what the energy of victorious feels like is fulfillment. It's engagement. It's complete expression of who we are. And when you can find a way to be fully present and expressed in your life, you can't do anything but feel victorious. And so the energy of the issue that we are holding on, that we have, is that in order to be victorious, we need to learn how to be vulnerable. We have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to open our hearts, to let down our guard, to calm our ego defenses down, and dare to live authentically if we want to benefit the benefit of a well-lived life. Now, what I'm talking about is not judging the quality of a performance, right? We're not doing something to perform it. We're not just saying, I'm going to make this beautiful cake, and if it doesn't come out perfectly or beautifully, I'm a failure. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the creative process where we roll up our sleeves and we dig in and we allow ourselves to try. We allow ourselves to shoot for the stars. We allow ourselves to put ourselves in a position where we could fail miserably, but that doesn't matter because you will never fail miserably, because it takes you to the next space and the next space and the next step. And you'll find something within yourself as you unfold. Now this week, as I said, I was on a trip with my daughter. I was so proud of her. We went to what's called the Youth America Grand Prix final. So the Youth America Grand Prix is an international dance competition. It's a high-level ballet competition. They pulled in dancers from all over the world, from Southeast Asia, from Australia. There were some kids from New Zealand who came into Tampa for a week of master classes and competition. There were dancers from all over Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, all over the place. There were some kids from Africa. I mean, it was really amazing. And I think that we witnessed probably some of the top ballet dancers in the whole entire world in person this week. Now, the competition was stiff, I have to say, for that level of soloists who were, the idea of this competition is that it's a scholarship competition to get these dancers into prestigious dance schools around the world. So the Royal Ballet Academy, Princess Grace in Monaco, there's all sorts of amazing ballet companies across the world that come, and they look for people to come. So the competition is really stiff, right? Like, it's amazing. The final round of the seniors happened on Monday night last week. And all the kids who had competed for the week got to go and watch the final round. They take all the seniors who are 15 to 20 years old, they do their performances and they take these classes, and then they choose the top 20 women, young women, and they choose the top 10 or 15 men. And they put them in the final round. And it's on an evening, and they sell tickets to it, and all the kids get to go because they've been there all week. And you would think that the competition being so stiff, you would think that they'd have that energy of competing against one another, right? Well, when you watch it, and I watched it on YouTube, I wasn't in the room, but I watched on YouTube, and after every dancer, I'm getting emotional just talking about the dancers, when the dancers would do something amazing, the entire theater would roar with joy because they knew how hard it was to do what they were doing on stage. I don't know why I'm so emotional about this. It's really funny. I wasn't in it, I wasn't there. But it was just so wonderful to see when so much of our lives have become competitions. This is the world according to Rev K. It's my own opinion. I'll tell you when I tell you my own opinion. When all the dance shows on TV are about competitions and competing, when everything that we watch is about a competition these days, to see the pure joy of expression, it was amazing. And the next day I got to sit in that theater during the gala where they had all the winners, and they had the professionals who a lot of them were the judges, performed. And it was the same thing. It was like being at a rock concert. And I just wish that I said to somebody next to me, I said, I wish that every dancer could feel this one time. To realize that we can support each other. It's not just about getting it on our own and taking what we need and putting somebody else down to make ourselves feel better, which is kind of the energy that we live in our culture right now. But to realize that it could be shifted, it could be different. It doesn't have to be a competition. the original idea of competition back in the days of the Greeks was that competition would make each other better. It's not about overcoming one another. It's about supporting each other and getting to your highest way of expressing. What if that's what we're being called to do, to support each other in finding a way to be our fullest expression in this life, to come forward so beautifully, so powerfully? And so I want to remind us that we do live in this field of infinite wisdom and inspiration, that we live in this universe that really supports us, that we are all created on purpose. And what we're called to do, those desires of our heart, those inklings, that thing that wakes us up and moves us forward, that's God alive as us. And if we can say yes to that, if we can allow it, if we can step forward in that direction, all of nature, as Ernest Holmes says, all of nature rises to support the freedom of the individual, that it may unloose its own energy. God is unloosed in the world through us, through our passion, through our joy, through our love, through our relationships, everything that we do. And so if we stay in that little rut that we live in, if we stay in that little small life, and we keep doing what we do it the same way we do it, and we drive the same roads that we drive, and we hang out with the same people that we've always hung out with, and we think the same things that we've always thought, are we really being a channel for God? Are we really being a divine space for Spirit to show up for ourselves in the world, or not? And so we are being called to step it up a notch, to get into that audacious sense of being bold and bring our light to the world in a new way. What if we knew? So I think what holds us back is the judgments we hold about ourselves. That thing that we think makes us different or weird or strange or broken or whatever the story, the tape is. But what if we knew for certain that the thing that we're embarrassed about, the thing about ourselves that we've always been told to change or not to do, turned out to be the very gift that God gave us to bless the world? We say it's all God, but do we really believe it? One of the other things I like to do when I'm traveling is I give myself the opportunity to read magazines. I don't usually spend time reading, People and all those magazines. And so I went into the gift shop and grabbed a couple magazines. And I read an article that really, it's funny, I've thought about this off and on for years, and I've read an article that confirmed what I believed for 20 years. Do you remember Jennifer Grey? She's an actress. She's around my age. She was popular in the 80s. She was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She's the star of Dirty Dancing. Jennifer Grey was a great actress. She's a great actress. And she was a great character actress coming up. After she did Dirty Dancing, her career should have taken off. She should have been a superstar because it was a complete smash hit. But she has not been heard from for 30 years. What happened was, after she did Dirty Dancing, her team told her that she had a problem. She was never gonna be a superstar. She's never gonna be able to have the career she wanted because of her nose. Because her nose was too big, too Jewish, too whatever. I don't remember what she said in the article, but she was told over and over again, you're as far as you're gonna get, honey. There you go, you better do something about that. And so she did. She caved and made the choice to have two nose operations. She had a nose job. And then she disappeared into the backdrop because that character aspect of herself that made her so unique and so interesting was completely gone. And she was one of a million, and you wouldn't recognize her. And I've always wondered about that, because I saw her later on. It's obvious that she'd had a nose job, and you could see that she isn't acting, so something had happened. So I wondered if what she thought about that. And she says in this article, she says, you know what? That was the biggest mistake of my life. And if I could redo it, I would go back and I would say no. God gave me that nose. God gave me that face and that way of expressing myself. And I didn't trust myself and love myself enough to know that that was part of me. And I thought of that and realized that my heart went out to her. I said a little prayer for her. But it reminds me, That Carl Jung taught that the area of our greatest wound is potentially our greatest gift. It also reminds me of the story of Dr. Temple Grandin. She's a woman who, there was a movie made about her back about 10 years ago. And she's one of the top scientists in humane livestock handling. She's a PhD in animal science from the University of Illinois and is a professor at Colorado State. She has authored 6 books, including 2 bestsellers. She's autistic. And she says, autism is part of who I am. Her disability, in quotes, I don't usually do this very often, but her disability, right, is what they consider it, is actually the gift that allows her to understand and translate animals. It's the thing, it's the way that she has found her magnificence, has found her gift, is able to share her light with the world in a new way. And she has actually changed the livestock handling and influenced an entire industry by being who she's come here to be. We need to embrace ourselves, encircle ourselves with acceptance, and welcome all parts of us, and realize that we have everything that we need to live a fulfilling, full life if we can just allow ourselves to be accepting and be present with who we are. Now, today I'm going to do a little something different than I normally do. I'm going to lead you through a little exercise. So I do have a couple of people in the room that I know that are going to be able to do it. But for everybody at home, if you're, I encourage you to do this. It'll be helpful. So close your eyes and take a breath for a moment. I'm going to ask you some questions. And just allow what wants to come forward to come forward. This is for you. I'm not going to ask you to share or tell me. But this is just for you to allow your heart to speak. And so don't think too hard about it. Just see what wants to come forward. So the first one is this. What is it that you do naturally that you love and you always think about doing? Maybe you love being outdoors. Maybe you can't get enough of reading, learning something new, watching airplanes, growing roses. What is it? Where do you lose yourself in an experience? What causes you to lose all track of time? Maybe it's playing with your grandkids or your children. Maybe it's fixing a wobbly chair leg. Maybe it's going into the kitchen and creating something out of nothing from the cupboard. The next one is this. Where are you the most at home in your own skin? Maybe it's making bread or polishing your car, skiing, knitting, writing. And finally, what's the one thing that makes your heart sing more than anything else in the world? Maybe it's singing. Maybe it's just singing that makes your heart sing. Maybe visiting museums or social justice work, activism, supporting the homeless, volunteering at an animal shelter. What is it that makes your heart sing? And so when you're ready, you can come on back. See, that wasn't too hard. Knowing what we love, who we are, and what we care about, what we're drawn to, creates self-awareness and a sacred self-awareness. And when we have that and we realize that purpose isn't about doing, purpose isn't about livelihood or your career or your job skills, because the truth is your purpose is love. Your purpose is to show up and to be yourself as that divine expression of love. And when we break down those walls that keep ourselves from understanding and knowing and connecting to our true authentic self, you can extend more out into the world to others. And this sounds great, right? Like it sounds great that all I need to do is be me and shine my light and go through my life and the universe will support me, and it sounds really great. There's a catch. you got to read the fine print. We always need to read the fine print. The fine print on this one is that we can't pretend to be something else and still expect to have that full experience. We have to be who we are, which means that we have to embrace all those things that we think that are wrong with ourselves, and we have to accept ourselves who we are, and we have to tell the truth about our lives and tell the truth about what we feel and what we think. We have to be authentic, because that is when we engage with the universe in a way that moves through us. But in order to do that, we need to be vulnerable. We need to create a space where we can show up and be who we really are. Maybe we need that close confidant to be able to say, you know what, I'm not happy, and I don't know why. Maybe we need to have a small group around us that allows us to just show up and be who we are and not worry about what anyone else is going to think. We need to create that space for ourselves so that we can understand and be who we truly are. Because again, there is victory in vulnerability. What happens is without that armor, when we start to let it go, our senses are heightened and we're more connected to our intuition, to that guidance, to that support. Instead of listening to the inner critic that's telling us constantly, you're not doing good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not able to do this, people do it better than you. Instead of listening to that voice, which is full of baloney, we're able to use our creative energy to move forward. And what happens is that we become teachable, and when we become teachable, there's space, there's spaciousness. And we are engaging with creativity in our day-to-day life in a new way. So we want to be bold. We want to dare to show up in the creative expression that you already are. It reminds me of Jesus' teaching of the parable of the lamp under a bushel. Now this is when Jesus was doing his teaching, he was teaching through stories. He taught through story. He taught through parables. And this one, is an important one because it's in multiple Gospels in the Bible. And so it's the parable of the lamp under a bushel. And you've heard it, I've said it before. He says, you are the light of the world. A city on a hill can't be hidden. People don't light a lamp and then put it under a basket. I can expect Jesus said it just like that. You can't put it, people don't do that. You don't light a lamp and put it under a basket. No way. They set it on a stand so it can shine brightly for all to see. The same way, let your light shine, that all people may see your good deeds. And what you do is you glorify your Father in heaven. You glorify God who sent you. So we have to be who we are. We are not random little ants going along in this life. We were sent here on purpose to be the gift, to shine our light. And we can figure out how to do that when we allow ourselves to be creative. The thing that I realized this week, I shared something on Facebook that got a little bit of traction, and I wanted to share it today. This is the permission that we are all given to let go of judgment, right? Of our fear of judgment. It said this: you are not responsible for the versions of you that exist in other people's minds. That's a good one, isn't it? You're not responsible for the version of you that someone else thinks of, because you know what? And I've learned this really well. People have versions of me that I'm like, who is that? Or they have assumptions of the life I'm living, and I'm like, I really wish I was living that life. I'm not. Or whatever it is, we all have that. And what they think of you is none of your business. It's really not. Could they be judging you? Yeah, they could be. They could be. But you know what? Who cares? If someone else is judging you, people who are judging you are not really judging you. What they're doing is they're reacting to the fact that they aren't able to be vulnerable and honest with themselves yet. And then they see you being who you truly are, and they can't handle that. They haven't realized that the thing that they think is the worst part of themselves is their gift. So the best thing we can do for ourselves and for them is to be comfortable with who we are, is to be creative, to do our thing, and to not care what other people think or say. They'll catch up sooner or later. You do you, and be happy. find your truth, and you make the way for not only for yourself, but for everybody around you. So it's not time to just live outside of the box. It's time to break the box down, to put it in the recycling, and to bless the land that it was on so that we can expand. It's time for us to be bold and to realize that there is something that is calling us forward. And we need to listen to it, because that is what is going to take us to fulfillment, to joy, and to happiness. And that's why we're here. And so it is.
So it is.
And so we'll welcome back Danielle and Mike.
Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds, try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears, go ahead, release your fears, stand up and be counted, don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Herald what your mother said, read the books your father read, try to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you, others take a different view. My, oh my, yeah. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Time asks no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. The best part is danger staring you in the face. Oh. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds, try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you fears, go ahead, release your fears. My, oh my, yeah. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be tough, you gotta be strong, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day.
Oh, what a perfect song choice. Thank you. That was great. All right, so this is the time of our service when we talk about sacred giving. And I'm going to remind everybody, now that we're online, please don't stop giving. We are still moving forward. We're looking for a place to meet. We're trying to figure it all out. So I'm going to remind you that there are a number of ways that you could continue to participate in sacred giving. You could go over to our website at csltv.org and hit that donate button. It'll take you straight and you can put your information in. You could call our office and talk to our administrator, Cecilia. I'm even going to tell you that phone number, 951-304-0268, and she could run a credit card for you, or you could send it in through the mail. Our mailbox is still here. We're able to pick up our mail. So, with that, I'm going to invite you to just take that idea, that offering into your heart, and breathe your light and your love into it in this moment as we bless it. Because I simply know that even if we are not in person together in this moment, we are still part of this spiritual community, and we are alive and vital. And it is in this that we participate in this offering, giving forth our gift so that that vision, that idea of being a light out into this valley, to call forth to all those who would be served by this message, happens with ease and with grace, with abundance and with light, because I know that this is not my church, this is not your church, this is God's church. We have been called to be together, to be this space for healing, for wholeness, for light, and for truth, remembering who we are. And this is the divine unfoldment. And so that infinite abundance of God moves through each of our lives and the life of this spiritual community, allowing for us to once again write that new story, to take that new step, to bring forth all of the gifts and blessings that are right here and right now that feed and nurture each and every one of us. And so I bless it, I give thanks for it, and allow it to be. And so it is. All right, so I'm going to invite you to do it with me. You might not have it in front of you, but we're going to do our affirmation of abundance. So we'll see if everybody's got it ready. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Yes. You want to do one round of it? Sure. We love our songs, so.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, so I have our announcements, and so we'll start with the construction announcement. So as you've seen, I posted a video yesterday of what our office looks like. You can tell this place is going to be ripped apart this week. And we are in process trying to figure out whether we'll be online next week, where we're going to be online from. That's what our plan is that we will be online one more time next week at least. But we don't know where we're going to be, but that'll be fun. And in the meantime, we are still looking for a place that we can all meet. So please, please, please watch your emails. If you are not getting our weekly email, please send an email to info@csltv.org, info@csltv.org, and to make sure that you are staying up with our communication, because this is going to be a quick one. So we are working and trying to get back in person as soon as possible. And again, I was invoking that old movie, The Money Pit, where they would say, how long is all the construction going to take? And they would say 2 weeks. Well, they're telling me 4 weeks. And I'm like, okay, well, what if it's not 4 weeks? So we're just going to work hard and do our plan and communicate as much as possible. So check the Facebook. We're even on Instagram now. We'll post everything there. Check our website. Check your emails is the most important place, because that's where the most updated information is going to come to you. So thanks for working with us with it. You know, it's kind of one of those that we're like, all right, this is what we're doing now, and we're doing the best we can with it. And again, I keep thinking of what it's going to be like on the other side of this. It's going to be lovely and beautiful. It's going to be great. So with that, our regular meeting groups are still meeting. Our men's group, our book study, let's start with that. Our book studies on Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Zoom. I think they're still reading Fear, The Essential Wisdom in Getting Through the Storm by Thich Nhat Hanh. That's on Wednesdays from 10 to noon. Our men's ministries meeting on Wednesdays. You can contact Reverend Michael Summers for more information, and they meet alternatively online and in person. Our Sisters in Spirit group meets on the third Thursday of the month at Journey's Restaurant for breakfast. And our Community Connection, which was off last week, will be back up and running this week on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And so that's a time of connection, of conversation, and of spiritual practice together. So I invite you to join us for that. That link is also on our website. Now, here's the new stuff. My foundations class is going to start on Tuesday. We are starting a new class. I'm so excited. We finally got the classes up and running. If you are interested in learning about the basic tenets of the science of mind, this is a 10-week class that walks through the spiritual philosophy of science of mind in a really wonderful way. I love teaching this class, and I've translated it a little bit better for the Zoom experience, and it starts on Tuesday. So if you're feeling ready to make change, if you're feeling like ready to step out in a new way, if you are inspired with all of this, and maybe you took Foundations 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, come back and take class with me again. Jump into that class. The registration link is there it should be in the chat, or it'll be up on our website. And take a journey with me over these next 10 weeks, and I promise you, you will have something new that is exactly what you're looking for. So the morning meditations from the last 40-day series is continuing, and it will continue through Friday. This is the last week. The practitioners, and I want to thank the practitioners and Rev Michael who've stepped in to take those meditations so I could have a little bit of a break. And then on May 2nd, I'm going to start our third 40-day series for the year. I can't believe we're doing this. I love this. This is so fun. This one is going to be based on the book 40-Day Mind Fast Soul Feast by Rev Michael Beckwith. And so it's a 40-day program, and it's going to start May 2nd. And so this is a 15-minute meditation that we do at 7:30 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, on Zoom. And there's a new registration link for it, so I'll send it out to everybody who's been in the meditations. We'll put it in the Evite also this week. And so if you'd like to join us on it starts May 2nd for this new one. You don't need to buy the book. You could buy the book. I'm going to follow it every day. But it's a great way for us to come together. It's been really fun. We've had like 12, 15 people every day. It's really a wonderful way to start the day. So I encourage you to join us. Let's see. So, a couple more things. We are still looking for a host. If you are wanting to host a watch party for Sunday service, if you have the ability to show it on Facebook on a larger screen, we have one person who offered to do that, but we're looking for a couple more people. If you would like, we'd like the idea of having small groups, and there is one watch party happening this morning. So good morning to our watch party there. So if you are called to host one, please call the office and let us know, and we will set you up next week. And let's see, we are having a CSL-TV picnic on Sunday, May 15th at the Temecoo Hills Park. It'll be after service from like 12 to 2 or so. The board is providing hamburgers and hot dogs in the main dish, and we're asking everybody to bring side dishes. And you know, this is something that we've done for years, had an afternoon of fun in the park. And so we're trying to do that again, especially in this time when we can't be together all the time for Sunday service, but we're going to come back together on May 15th. And the last thing I have is that the night of music, the Interfaith Council does a night of music every year. It's a beautiful event, and it's actually tonight at 6:30 at the Grace Presbyterian Church in Temecula. And so a lot of the musicians from the different churches come and they share their gifts, and it's a really lovely night of music. It is also online, and so there is a link for that, and I'll be posting it to our CSL TV Facebook page and my personal Facebook page right after service. So that's the announcements for today. There's a lot. And, but now we're going to go into time for prayer. Whew. And so how good it is. How good it is to come together in consciousness. What I love about prayer is that it moves across the miles and connects our hearts. Not only to one another, but also to the divine, that presence of God. And so as we breathe into this moment and this time, how grateful I am to connect. To connect to that love that is that unifying factor, that foundation of all life, that lives within each of us. And I know as we move through this day that love guides us, it inspires us, it reminds us of who we are and why we are here. And as we open and welcome that channel of being, a channel of love, we become the light in the world, in the way that God shows up as love. And so we are blessed and a blessing in the same moment. We are inspired and inspirational to others. As we heal ourselves, we heal the world. And so this is a time to awaken, to rise, and to be bold, to shine our light, to share our gifts, and to remember that what we are passionate about is the calling forward, that gift to give into the world. And so as we say yes and we step forward, the forces of the universe come to our aid to support us. And so I bless this moment and I bless this community. I know that for anyone who is suffering, anyone who is struggling, that God is right there where they are, bringing forth comfort and peace, inspiration, potential, and new opportunity, abundance and love. For this is life itself. And so with a grateful heart to see it, to know it, to claim it, and to just allow it to be, I give thanks. Surrendering my word, I allow it and know it is so. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God wasn't hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you've got to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
That's good. Yes, yes. And as we step forth in this week, let us boldly go where we have not been before and express in love. And so it is. Happy Sunday, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.